Okay, so my name is Joseph Griffin. I'm originally from Mobile, Alabama. Moved to Maryland because of the military. So right now I'm staying out in Elk Ridge, Maryland. So this was a deal that we found, my brother and I, through the MLS. So after submitting several offers, the seller came back and agreed to the terms of the deal. So most definitely, yes, this is my first deal. Actually, I've gone through several other RIA groups. I've probably been doing it for about 6 years. My brother and I, we've been making offers in Baltimore probably for about 1.5 years now. So yes, this is my first deal. We're very excited. So we were very surprised because when we did the numbers, this was a very up and coming area. So it's very diverse numbers, mostly a rental community. And we actually made an offer of $12,500, and the seller took the deal as soon as we made it. So the numbers was really based on the rents in the area. Unlike most traditional single-family homes, we really couldn't take the value of the home. We had to look at what the rents were going for in the area. So out of this deal, I actually had to JV with someone else. So we're roughly going to make around $4,000. Some of the challenges with this one, this is a pretty unique piece of property because the owner actually lives outside of the United States. So actually going back and forth with the agent, Don was able to get in contact with the agent, extending the length of the contract because the agent stayed outside of the United States. Also because of the area is kind of an unknown area because it keeps changing, so it's hard to find an end buyer. So getting your first deal done, to me, is amazing because it lets you know the process works. It's one thing to see everybody else do the process, but knowing that, hey, working hard and partnerships, you can actually get a deal done. So it's a numbers game. Continuously making offers and having partners to work with you and motivate you and keep you accountable on making offers, you know it's going to work. So my goals and plans, my brother and I, we want to do at least 2 more wholesale deals. But now looking at this house, because it was only $12,500, roughly maybe an additional 5 to bring it up to so that living conditions, we realized that this could have been a deal that we could have kept and actually serviced as a rental. So now we're looking for more rentals in the Baltimore area. I think the biggest thing that everyone needs to know is to start, first have goals, believe in yourself, and just realize it's a numbers game. You just have to continuously make offers, be consistent, and also follow up. That's one thing that I noticed that I wasn't doing previously when I first started probably 5 years ago. I would make an offer and never get back to the agent. Getting back to the agent. The second part is partnerships. Anytime that you have a deal, of course you have to sell it to someone else. So that means having a partner. Always having a good agent that you can call to ask questions. And there aren't any dumb questions. We're all learning together. So being consistent and having partnerships. Well, real estate investing actually brought my father, my brother, and I together. We realized that we wanted to change our lives. I'm in the military, love the military, but I also want to control my future, and I wanted to have something to pass down to my kids. Getting started, because of the Carlton Sheiks and everyone saying, hey, no money down, a lot of people didn't believe in real estate. And it's not until you get around like-minded folks, and that's why I think partnerships are so important, finding like-minded folks to let you know that, hey, it is possible, and that if you keep making offers, it will get done. The thing that attracted me to Club RIA, first, it was in my backyard. Then it was a small group of people that you could trust, where I didn't have to worry about anyone taking a deal or stealing a deal. It was people who were actually encouraging everyone, holding everyone accountable, constantly thinking of ideas, constantly coming out to Baltimore. And because Baltimore, unlike a lot of different areas, is block by block, it's going north or south or west, the numbers can always change. So having a group of folks that understand Baltimore is very key. Well, of course, they helped me get my first deal, which is the most exciting part. But it's having someone to answer questions, having someone who understands Baltimore, and not just Baltimore, but the Maryland area, how things change, how the government is changing, how You know, people are moving to one side versus the other, understanding rents. So working with Don, it was just a learning experience on real estate, but also, once again, constantly being held accountable on making offers. The one thing I want to add is the same thing I said from the beginning. You have to work hard. No matter what happens, be consistent. Set a number. If it's 5 offers a day, 1 offer a day, be consistent in your offers. Do follow-ups. And once again, always partner. Let people know that you have a business. The biggest problem that we have a lot of times is we don't tell people that we have a business. Always tell people you're in real estate. Come up with a 30-second, elevator speech on what you do, what your dreams, what your goals and aspirations, and just tell people, and you will find like-minded people.